picks up a first down.
And I'm going to go back to, we talked to our friends, Charles Bishop and Neely. They follow Jackson State football and having dinner with them. I mean, they said this team feels like nobody can score 3 times on them. 3 times. He didn't say if it was 3 field goals, 3 touchdowns. Prairie View has scored twice. Touchdown, field goal. That's how good this defense is. And, whoa, they are as good as advertised.
4th best in all of FCS.
It got to get to the point where whoever we're doing the broadcast that week of the game, they're going to have to sit down with y'all because y'all know us better than everybody.
Sure.
And y'all know some of the inside stuff
We do.
that I may not tell them because I don't trust them, but
Sure. Trust us.
I trust y'all.
We appreciate that
We
trust.
appreciate that, Coach.
Much love, baby.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Of course your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
It's just up here on the right.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kinda got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
Hit the field, warm up. You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yeah,
So you.
it is.
There's a Buick that fits your life because at the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Let's get back to strolling instead of scrolling. Before we can safely come together, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your family.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No! 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney+, Hulu, ESPN+, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment! Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Here are the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, the pregame show, the Carlos Brown Show, the ONG Strike Zone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time. This is the BCSN Pod Zone, your place for the news, views, and conversations about all things related to HBCU athletics. Hear the BCSN Sports Wrap, Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, Knights of the Round Table, the pregame show, the Carlos Brown Show, the ONG, Strike Zone, and more in one place. We are changing the way you consume HBCU sports, one broadcast at a time.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. Man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with this hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Mike Washington is still out on assignment, but welcome to episode 296 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast. The show is covering the sporting HBCU diets for all things HBCU sports. For institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA, we share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics, to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs in the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta, along with my co-host today, which is none other than Charles Bishop and A.D. Drew. We're filming from our home studios and sending a signal live, KCH 1230 AM studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer, Ralph Cooper, in the beautiful home of Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. Today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THG Agency, LLC. THG Agency is a company that provides sporting and educational consulting and data analytics. With that being said, Charles, you're looking slim, ready for Miami, but that's another week away. But we do have some games in week 0. With that being said, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Doc. Looking forward to week 0. We got football coming this weekend. We got Texas high school football going on tonight and tomorrow. So looking forward to it. It's time for football season to get up and rolling.
I like it. I like it. Making sense. Making sense. Let me go to A.D. Drew, the quintessential professor that is he. Clinical professor getting it in the house. How are you doing today as we get into week 0? What are your thoughts?
Man, I'm doing hot, but I'm not doing as hot as the Black College Sports Network is right now, bringing all this coverage of all these media deals out here and really breaking it down. We're going to say for the lab listeners today, because this is Dr. Cavil's show, but, we did a good breakdown on Sunday on the BCSN Sports Lab. We had a couple open-ended questions that you guys came along Tuesday and were able to close up for us, dialogue that you and Charles had on Tuesday. And I thought Brian and I with Kyle Mosley and Bo Carter, put it out there, but you guys really brought it home on Tuesday, fellas.
Man, I appreciate that. And I'm in the middle of the show. I'm just going in and I'm feeling it. And I get this text. He's like fire. I say, oh, I realized that we had something maybe a little magical there. So I appreciate that. One, just checking us out and continue to be the backbone and supporting everything. But I agree with you. It was a pretty good show. Before we get into some news of the day, let me get your opinion of, why were you excited about what you were listening to that day? Last Tuesday, for those that may want to go back and check it out.
When you get out here and really start looking at some of people's opinions on Twitterverse, people who are not on the inside, not in the know, and I'm not saying that I am all in the know, but I have a lot more knowledge of the ins and outs of these things than a lot of people, and I've been privy to receive that information. And people like, should have had this, you should have had that, you should have had this, without understanding really, for the lack of it, the business side of everything that's going on, the professionalism for what is going on. Because and let's be real, we all three of us are privy to information that we can't even tell each other, let alone people on these podcasts. You know, and that's to maintain professionalism, sources, and everything like that. We can prepare so that when it breaks, we already know the story's coming. We already know what it is. We already know how we need to handle it from a media point of view. And people don't understand that. Seem like people don't respect this microwave society. Everybody has to know now. Everybody thinks that, you know, their ice is colder than our ice. No, it's still 32 degrees. The ice is still 32 degrees, and the water's going to boil at 212 degrees, no matter how you get it there. So that's what it is. And the fact that we were actually able to go to some source. We talked to Kyle Mosley, who was 1 degree of separation from Byron Allen when this came out. And he put that story out. Then we talked to Mo Carter, who was privy to some information, being one of those duopolies that will be showing this. So he knew this was coming down the line. And then he was able to tell some stuff about what was going on behind the scenes and how that side was going to work. Then you guys went to one of the people who was really behind putting all this thing together. What more? People. You're not getting this anywhere else but on the Black College Sports Network, between the multiple shows that we do. You know, and then when you throw in the hottest podcast that's out there in HBCU sports with the pregame show right now, I mean, what? Please, why you need to follow other people for diversity, but when you want truth, come to Black College Sports Network, because we gonna give you the truth. We gonna tell you everything you need to know, and if we don't tell you what you need to know, you don't need to worry about it. I'm sorry. I'm off my soapbox. I am really off my soapbox. It's all speculation at that point.
Well said. Seriously, well said. With that being said, Charles, I'm going to go to you. I'm going to let you get into some news of the day, unless you want to provide some further comments before you get in there.
Well, sure thing. And I'm going to echo AD here for a second. I mean, when you one of the beauties of this network, one of the beauties of a show like this is to get that information firsthand and to get it unvarnished without, fluff, without so much opinion, to get factual information. And I'm always appreciative of being a part of a show like this where Dr. Cavil, you bring on some tremendous heavy hitters, not just from the various conferences, but from sports business as a whole. So it is always an important show that our listeners, really tune in on Tuesdays and Thursdays and this upcoming Sunday. So I look forward to it. It really is a lot of fun.
No doubt about it. For both of y'all, the checks in the mail, so I appreciate you. Go ahead.
Sure thing. Well, let's start off. The four-letter network will be going to the Black College Hall of Fame Classic as First Take, Stephen A. Smith's alma mater.
Say that as let me jump in here, since AD just tooted my horn, I say the other four-letter network.
The other four-letter network, exactly. ESPN's First Take, Stephen A. Smith's alma mater, Winston-Salem State. They'll be taking on Central State in the Black College Hall of Fame Classic. But the First Take show will be broadcasting from the Black College Hall of Fame game. That live broadcast will be on Friday, September 2nd, prior to the game. So kudos to Black College Hall of Fame Classic weekend, bringing in Stephen A. Smith and for shedding the light on HBCU athletic, HBCU football that weekend.
Great points there. Let me go to you, AD Drew. What do you want to share with that. But before I ask you to share, I think this is really cool. The momentum of the Black College Football Hall of Fame Classic and the game, those that had a vision to put this together, and the fact that they have pushed the larger institutions, ESPN, NFL, to get behind this, as well as several of the franchise to get behind supporting what does this look like. So kudos to all involved. Obviously, Stephen A. Smith, an HBCU alumni himself, Winston-Salem State. And over the last several years, he's put HBCUs on his platform directly in terms of his shows and carrying it in different ways. So I think that's fascinating. This is just another example of what he's doing. Remember last year he was at FAMU. He's been at different places previous to that. He had HBCU Week, so he continues to carry that banner in various different ways. So no matter how you might feel about Stephen A. Smith and his commentary, he's also getting it done on this side for sure. Let me go to you, Drew, and get your thoughts on some news of the day before we take our first break.
This one, speaking of classics, and I said this to you guys earlier this week in our group chat. You know, I had some concerns about the UAPB Alabama A&M game being dubbed as the St. Louis River City HBCU Football Classic, and I had some concerns because I hadn't heard anything about it except for the original commentary by Bo Carter when he announced that Alabama A&M was going to be participating in it. Bo Carter, friend of the network, has to put that out there. But yes, earlier this week, I finally got a press release, and it reads, St. Louis, get ready for a gridiron showdown between the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions and the Alabama A&M University Bulldogs in the inaugural St. Louis River City HBCU Football Classic. The gridiron matchup and showdown will be held on Sunday, October 16th at the Dome at America Center at 3 p.m. And that is the Dome that the St. Louis Rams was formerly called home before they moved back to Los Angeles. And it goes on and has some other information. But the most important thing is tickets for the St. Louis River City Historically Black College and University Football Classics are available on Ticketmaster, and tickets range from $25 to $55. In addition, Dome at the America Center suites will be available for attendees of the Classic. So it looks like the Classic is confirmed, and it is going to happen in St. Louis. It is a Sunday game, and if I remember right, looking at the schedule, it's the last kind of special game that's going to occur on a Sunday in the HBCU football season. So I'm happy that my hometown is going to get this, and I hope we really get out and get good support there in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri.
Well done. Well done. We'll take this break. We'll be right back after this break with our first interview to get you started as we close out the week with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Support the Black College Sports Network so we can continue to provide you coverage. Go to myjbn.com/support and be a part of the Black College Sports Network.
They can follow their dreams. Let's get back to getting ticks instead of watching flicks. Before we can safely get out there, we need the facts on COVID-19 vaccines. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision for yourself and for your crew.
Charmin Ultra Soft has so much cushiony softness, it's hard for your family to remember they can use less.
Sweet pillows of softness.
This is soft.
Holy Charmin. Oh, excuse me. Roll it back, everybody. Sorry.
Charmin Ultra Soft is so cushiony soft, you'll want more, but it's so absorbent, you can use less, so it's always worth it.
Now, what did we learn about using less?
You gotta roll it back, everybody.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and Parenting Education Coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna love, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Bill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with A.D. Drew and Charles Bishop. Our guest is Derek Weber. He is the CEO of Weber Marketing. He's going to talk to us a little bit. Let me get all this right, man, because you got so many titles and sponsors. I'm excited about this. I want to do you right. Pepsi 2022 National Battle of the Bands presented by Toyota.
Yes.
Performance featuring Quavo and Takeoff. It's at the NRG Stadium, Saturday, August the 27th. That is this Saturday. You got so many sponsors. I don't want to leave them out, but you got JP Morgan Chase and Company, Cricket, Crackerberry, Houston Sports Authority, Procter & Gamble, I said, P&G, HEB, Coors Light, Home Depot, Metro, Academy, and Sony. My goodness, brother, you've been working. How's it going today?
It's going great, and thank you guys for having me on. It's definitely good to see everyone again.
Yeah, it is a pleasure.
Yes, it is.
Pleasure. You've been doing this for a couple of years, but this is the second year, obviously, in Houston. Third year, depending on how you calculate it. COVID kind of put a little dent in a little bit of it, but second year in a row, I put it that way, where you've been able to get this done. Multiple bands come in town. So before I steal too much thunder, let me first ask you how you doing.
Doing great, man. We're truly blessed, and we're enjoying the journey. And it's been fun so far, and everybody's healthy and safe. So we're truly blessed. So thank you for asking.
With that being, let's go ahead and go with the headlines. You got 8 bands here. Which bands do you have for those that may not realize? What bands do you have in town in Houston coming into this big event?
Yeah, we have Kentucky State coming in town, North Carolina A&T State University, Alabama A&M, Alcorn State University, Southern University, Grambling State. PV is going to be in the house. Bethune-Cookman is coming as well. So we have a great lineup, and we're excited about the lineup this year. And we added another piece to it where we're bringing in a live performance by the Migos and those guys. So we're excited about what we can bring to the community for a great lineup of bands and entertainment.
Well, my wife Faith said you need to make sure you had you on because you made and was here. But I'm gonna tell her Charles didn't give Alabama A&M band a big woo when he's you're not that. I'm gonna put Charles on that bus a little bit. But with that being go ahead, Charles. Since I'm messing with you, let me let you jump in and ask the question.
Well, that actually brings us to a great question: is how are the bands selected to participate in the 2022 Battle of the Band?
Yeah, I mean, basically the bands are selected. We have a collective group that we meet, a committee internally. We evaluate and try to really balance it out with bands year in and year out, so we can have equal representation across the board. Hence why we brought in, Kentucky State, give them an opportunity, SIAC Conference School, and A&T, we brought them back, but Alabama A&M, this is their first year, and Alcorn State, this is their first year. So we try to create some balance and give every band an opportunity to be a part of this. And this year we have PV, next year we'll have Texas Southern, and so we want to continue to create that balance and opportunities for a little bit of all bands to be able to create and get this fun exposure.
No doubt.
So with that,
yeah.
With that,
somebody
Jericho,
called us saying, "Let me in."
It's like, man, it don't work like that. Go over there and buy you tickets. They on sale. And since we had it, where can they get the tickets?
Yeah, they can get the tickets at Ticketmaster.com, the National Battle of the Bands website.com, over at NRG Stadium as well. Tickets are $20. We still kept it pretty affordable so the whole family can enjoy the experience. And the day of, ticket prices will be $25, but we started off with ticket prices at $15. We're excited to be able to keep it at a price point that's reasonable for the whole family to be able to come out and enjoy.
No doubt. AD Drew, go ahead.
Derek, I've been one who's organized events similar to what you're trying to do, not with bands, but on the athletic side.
Baseball.
And the Black College World Series.
Yeah.
And people don't understand the hard work that really goes into it and the behind the scenes that go into it. Yeah. So I have to ask you, as somebody who's been sitting in a seat similar to yours, what is your motivation for even trying to put this event together? Because we all have these crazy ideas, but when you actually start getting it and then have to get this person to help you and this person, and go out and find somebody to pay for this and pay for that, there has to be an underlying motivating factor. So tell us, what was your inspiration to put this event together way back when?
And before you answer that, I'm gonna take a little bit off. It's certainly not just money, because
it's not money.
It costs a lot of money to do this, and it takes a while before you might get a return on investment. But go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right, and really the whole foundation of what we do and why we do it, to be honest with you. And it's funny because sometimes when you're digging in and you got these weeks on weeks on weeks of a lot of work, you kind of question yourself sometimes of why you do it. But this year, year 8 with the program, we're approaching $1 million in giving back to scholarships with our HBCU participating bands. And so that's what helps fuel us. And that's what helps. And we want to do it the right way too. And we want them to experience, opportunities and events like this, like a BCS feel. We're flying in A&T with American Airlines. We flew in Bethune-Cookman. Everything that we do is first class. All the bands are staying at hotel properties in the Galleria area, from the Hyatt Regency to the JW Marriott to the Sheraton Suites, and so on and so on. We make sure that they get the meals that they want and enjoy, and we feed them 3 times a day. We just want to create like a great atmosphere and experience. We bring in the college presidents, we put them up at the St. Regis, car service, we swag out the rooms with some of our sponsor stuff, and bring them over to the suite, shuttle them over there. So we want to create like an experience that isn't always typically like that with our HBCU events. So, and we know, because we've been around the block, like this ain't our first rodeo. We've seen a lot. So, and we know it's hard and it's a lot of work that we put into it, but it's the little things. And so far every year we just sharpen the pencil on those little things. We got 4 chartered flights. We got over 64 chartered buses, 7 hotel properties, 2,200 band members. We feed them 3 times a day. We shuttle them around Houston for practice times, meeting with local high schools. It's just an all-out experience for them and then for others that are watching them. So that's kind of why we do it, man.
The city of Houston and Harris County ought to be happy, because that sounds like a big economic impact that you got going on right there, my brother.
It is. We hit 15 million last year. We're thinking that we will surpass that this year. We already have sold over 40,000 tickets. So we're in a good place so far with tickets, and Friday and Saturday are our big days. And so we're excited about what we can bring as far as the economic impacts, and Harris County supports us, and the Lone Star Sports and Entertainment folks, they support us. And we're an official, MBE certified minority company. So we just want to do things the right way, and we know our value. And that's the great thing about Harris County. They know our value as well. And so they really come to the table to make this sustainable.
Darren, let me ask this question. What are some of the events that surround the Battle of the Band competition?
Yeah, so like tomorrow we're kicking off the Entrepreneur Emerging Experience, in which highlights capital wealth with JP Morgan Chase, health and wellness seminar. We have a Sony Motion Pictures seminar highlighting the Woman King, and then talking about content development. That's going on over at the Deluxe Theater. It's free. It goes on between 9 and 1. And then, that evening we have a step and stroll over at Texas Southern University, back to the yard event with the cheerleaders, the bands, and the Greeks and fraternities, sororities out there, awarding off scholarship money to those Greek organizations. And then on Saturday, we have an effort that we rolled out this year where we are feeding the homeless. So we're giving over 200 meals, courtesy of Cracker Barrel, to the homeless tomorrow on Saturday. And then we have the college fair that's free between 1:30 and 4:30 over at the NRG Center. And we have over 25 HBCUs that's over there. A lot of our corporate partners have setups over there as well. And that's free. And then the actual Battle of the Bands event that kicks off with the zero quarter at 5:30, and then the actual show at 6.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about this step and stroll back to the yard kickoff tomorrow here at Texas Southern University. Event starts at 5, $4,000 grand prize in terms of that feature, in the DJ battle, Greek battle, food trucks, Calvin Murphy marching thunder and drumline band, I should say. Design Tooth dance. Man, a lot of things going on with that. That should be big. We're gonna check that out. Excited about that.
Yeah, no, it's everything that we do, we try to make it affordable. We try to make it free. We really want to engage in the community. HEB is giving away music instrument scholarships to 5 deserving high schools that we're going to award at the actual Battle of the Bands as well. So we really like you hit it on top of the head. We got great partners. Pepsi's giving away a couple of jobs on site on Saturday as well that they're awarding to some PV students. So I mean, we got some great partners across the board, and we're excited about what they bring to the table to help support us and really show the value of our HBCUs in the communities that we serve.
Well, I know in the Battle of the Band, there's not official winner, but we took it upon ourselves. As last year, I debuted the HBCU marching sport, where we actually went through the season week to week and had a poll ranking. Now, one thing that was unique about HBCU marching sport poll ranking presented by Dr. Cavil and inside the HBCU Sports Lab is the fact that there had to be a competition. We got some good fans, they can do stuff, but they don't travel. That doesn't work for us. There has to be a competition. And where I'm from, in terms of sport, if there's a competition, there's a winner and there's a loser. So last year, there were 8 great bands, which means we broke it in half. There are going to be 4 winners and 4 losers. Last year, the Spartan Legion was there, and credit to Leonard Blow. We talked about, where Spartan band. I said, well, they were there last year and they brought it. They did good.
Yeah.
But we will kick off Dr. Cavill's HBCU marching sport. And we'll kick that off. And we're gonna tell you on Tuesday next week who are the 4 winners, who are 4 losers. So You might not have to do it at the event. We'll save you that, but we're gonna do it for you.
Well, I look forward to hearing who wins and who loses. So I'm gonna be dialed in to know what that is on Tuesday.
All right, I like that. That's a deal. Let's preach this. With that said, we know you got a valuable time. You got a meeting. You got to get out of here. Any last thing you want to say before we let you go?
Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys having me on and truly helping us amplify our voice and our mission to support HBCUs through music, arts, and education. If you haven't gotten your tickets, please get your tickets, come out, have a great time with the family. It's a great event weekend. And thank you guys so much for your support.
One last one. Let me sneak this in there. I apologize. Jerome Jeep Sutton says, how can he watch this? My understanding, you got to be there live, but is it going to be taped where maybe you can watch it later on a streaming platform?
Yeah, we will have, we're actually going to produce it and have a show that we're going to re-air in February during Black History Month.
All right, when you do that, come back to us. We can make sure you put it out there so people can know exactly where to go to catch it in terms of watching it then. But if you want it live, you got to be in the building, and that is NRG Stadium. Obviously, you got a performance featuring Quavo and Takeoff for the Pepsi 2022 National Battle of the Bands in Houston, Texas, presented by Toyota, as managed by Derek Weber and his partners for Weber Marketing. Appreciate your time. We'll be right back after this break.
Your ad could be ran here. MyJBN.com/support. MyJBN.com/support for more information.
The new GMC Sierra with hands-free driving offers the most advanced and luxurious pickup in its class. Yeah, it rocks.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Press the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna loud, yeah, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Bill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Mike is out on assignment, so we have none other than AD Drew. We're going to get into some football talk. It's that time of the year. We got our first week 0 matchups. We got 3 games we're going to discuss for you today. We're going to start out at the NCAA Division II level. That's the SIAC Edward Waters University, as they still are transitioning from NAIA to Division II. But they play a full SIAC conference. They got the note that they continue to move forward their transition. So they will be eligible for the championship that came out late last year when we heard about that. But this game is in Miami Gardens, Florida, Betty T. Ferguson Recreational Complex, Saturday. August the 28th, as you know, at 2 o'clock. The game will be on HBCU League Pass. It features Edward Waters Tigers at Florida Memorial Lions. Big rivalry game. Both of these teams, not too long ago, brought back football programs. Edward Waters first, and then later Florida Memorial. Intriguing matchups. Been some good games the last couple of years. I'm going to go with you, Charles, first. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
This is a tough matchup for me when you take a look at Florida Memorial and Edward Waters, but I'm going to shade towards Edward Waters on this one. I like some things that they're doing with their program, and I'm waiting on our Division II writer to really go in depth with Florida Memorial and Edward Waters. Let's see what he got.
Before I let him start and do what he does at that level, I do want to ask you, this is also a unique battle of bands as well in its own right. You leaning one way or the other on the battle of the bands part?
Ew. Let me go Edward Waters. I'm gonna go with all
so you're gonna split it. You're gonna split it.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. That's nice move. That's pretty smooth. You don't lose no fans like that. You're gonna have someone AD Drew, do your thing and tell me what do you thought about the Big Hat Classic.
I'm gonna start off with the battle of the bands. I'm leaning more towards Florida Memorial because of I really can't put it on it. It's just a different sound that you get out of Florida Memorial, and maybe it's just me. I just kind of like the sound from that Southern with a little bit of Caribbean flair that they added to it down there in Florida to appease their market. Plus, one of their former band members, Wild Man Will Marcelin, who's a fan of the Black College Sports Network, haven't looked to see if he's logged on. He marched at Florida.
Yeah, he's a regular. He's probably out there working.
Yeah, either that or I think he's out on the road right now. But I know he said he was going to be there in Miami for the game. So I'm gonna go with the person who supports the Black College Sports Network when it comes to the band. Now on the gridiron, that's a different story.
I like that. It's smart.
Massive Ratings has Edward Waters as an 11-point favorite in this game. One name that I want you to remember from Edward Waters is Deshaun Hugie. Not Hugie, not Huggy. Hugie is how you pronounce his name. He's a senior for Edward Waters. Leading rusher. He's returning for his last year in Duval. And if he totes the rock, and if he gets over 100 yards, it's almost going to be guaranteed that Edward Waters is going to win this game. So that's going to be the key person that you need to look for Edward Waters. I am leaning towards Duval and the Edward Waters Tigers.
Man, well done. Now we know why he's the Division II guru for HBCUs, particularly for the SIAC. Let's sneak over to another one that should be close to you. We're going to skip through the early game. We're going to go to the nightcap, which happens to be ACC versus SWAC, North Carolina versus FAMU, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. That's Kenan Memorial Stadium. It's at 8:15. Will be on the ACC network. Number 3 ranked in Dr. Bill's NCAA poll, major division. Florida A&M Rattlers versus North Carolina Tar Heels. And some people have doing some things in the ACC. So intriguing matchup. Yesterday, we got the announcement from Coach Simmons that he's picking a starting quarterback. But beyond that, AD Drew, what do you have to say about this matchup?
Massive Ratings has North Carolina as a 34-point favorite. I've seen lines as high as 35.5 for North Carolina. I'm going to tell you this. Don't bet because I'm telling you this, but I'm taking FAMU in the points on that. FAMU's defense will keep this game respectable for the Rattlers. As a matter of fact, here's my bold prediction of the week, Dr. Cavil, because you know I got to get one in there. FAMU will be within one score at halftime because of that defense. Especially when you look at one of the top linemen in FCS in Isaiah Land. Isaiah Land is basically using this as an audition for him to increase his draft stock, because there's no way Isaiah Land should not be called next April by one of the 28 teams, one of the 30 teams in the NFL. So, 32 teams. Well, I done went back when I said 28. One of the 32 teams in the NFL. The fact that a quarterback has finally been named, be it because the incumbent was hurt or because the new starter actually earned the job, I guess we're gonna have to find that out Saturday. But everything else Florida A&M has. Good running game, good receivers. Just got to get the ball to the receivers. Moose's job is not to make mistakes. This is one game you're not expecting Moose to go out and win for Florida A&M. His job is not to put Florida A&M in a position where they lose the game. If Florida A&M can end every position on a kick, that's either a punt, a field goal, or a PAT, Florida A&M will be in this game. They will cover and keep it respectable.
Great points. Charles, go to you. I know you're salivating for next week, but you got to save that a little bit. You got to talk about Zero first.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, obviously it's going to be a tough matchup anytime you talk about an FCS versus an FBS team. But you have to like Florida A&M's defense to go out there and go make some plays. Isaiah Land, this is an opportunity for him to get on the big stage in terms of going against an FBS team and see can he put pressure on North Carolina's quarterback. He led all of FCS in sacks last year with 19. So I think what you really want to look at in this game are the questions going into the season. Can FAMU answer some of those questions? I think one of those first questions was who's going to play quarterback. Jeremy Moose was named the quarterback the other day. 6'3", 225, Vanderbilt transfer. He's a prototype quarterback. So we'll see what he can go out there and can do, and can he move the offense. The other question is, FAMU had an offensive line overhaul. So you're going to have guys, only 2 starters back from last season. So the question is, can Musa have some time to move the ball? And then secondary production for me is going to be a huge one with Florida A&M against North Carolina, because, well, we expect North Carolina to have a high-powered offense in the ACC this year. Can FAMU's secondary hold up? No Marquise Bell this season, but they do have a great one who's one of my top defensive backs in all of FCS, and BJ Bowler. So it'll be interesting to see what FAMU can go out and do. And more than anything, you want them to come out of this game healthy, which I fully expect them to come out of this game healthy, because everybody wants to see a great matchup next week with Jackson State. So more than anything, go out there. I'm with AD. I think they will keep it within the line. I think they'll go out there and put up a good performance.
Yeah. One last point. The reason I say FAMU needs to end every possession with the kick, because they have 2 of the best kickers in FCS. You've got a Chris Fadul, who is coming off of he was the special teams player of the year in the MEAC, did not play last year because of injury. And then they've got one of the best place kickers also in the SWAC. So yeah, this is why it's important that every possession for FAMU ends on the foot of one of those 2 players. And that's Jose Romo Martinez.
Yeah, when you have players like that can help flip the field, that are talent and chance to go to the NFL, if not in terms of draft, in terms of free agency, because they're that talented at this level. That's a great point, and it kicks off the rest of the season. Let's take our last break. We'll come back after this and talk a little bit about the Celebration Bowl between Howard University and the Alabama State University. Bison versus the Hornets. Check this out. We'll be right back after this last break.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
We? Is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
They're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplify Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplify Development Services.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna law, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
So Dr. Bill with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab for our last segment. We have Professor Bishop, Clinical Professor Drew. I know I said Celebration Bowl. Am I speaking into existence? Can Alabama State get back out of the SWAC to the Celebration Bowl? Is how we're going to surprise everybody to get? They already shaking my head. No, you try. I'm sorry. The SWAC challenge. Let me get straight to the business since I screwed that up. Let me go to the professor. Charles Bishop. Tell me a little bit about this matchup. What do you see in terms of this? And who are you predicting to come out of here with the win?
Well, this is a really intriguing matchup when you talk about Alabama State with a brand new head coach, Nate Robinson Jr., and a new quarterback, Demetrius Davis, that I'm really excited to see. Of course, when he was here at North Shore, he set the world on fire and went from North Shore to Auburn. Now he's at Alabama State, but he is a special quarterback. He is a true dual threat quarterback. He has a powerful arm and he can take off on you in a heartbeat. So it'll be interesting to see Ken Howard corral a quarterback of his caliber. The question that I have for Alabama State is Howard is not a team devoid of talent. They have Antoine Murray, who is one of the top receivers in the MEAC. They have one of the top quarterbacks, I believe, in the MEAC. In the young man, I'm sorry, I should say defensive lineman, Darren Brokenborough, who is one of the top defensive linemen in the MEAC. And then they have a 1-2 punch that can run the ball when you talk about Ian Wheeler and Jared Hunter. So this is a team that I think can give Alabama State some issues, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But my SWAC love is going to make me go with Alabama State on this. So I'll go. In fact, I like what Eddie Robinson did. He threw down the gauntlet. He's tired of taking these L's to the MEAC conference. So I think Alabama State is going to come with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, if you will, the same sort of chip that the MEAC always comes in with the SWAC. So it'll be interesting to see, can they kind of even up the score, if you will.
Man, fascinating. First, I didn't think he was hesitating on it, but he closed that well. He seems convicted in that. Before I go to you, Drew, and get your side of this, I want to shout out to Dr. Paul Bryant, the newly named athletic director at Alabama A&M University. He's chiming in and checking us out and watching us. We appreciate you showing us some love, as you always did when you were back over there at Edward Waters University. Continue to stick with us. Love to get you on. We're going to get you an invite. Want to see you talk about a little bit about the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. And I do want to go home My wife is an Alabama A&M Bulldog, and then she said if I don't get you on, there might be some problems at the house. So don't worry. Dr. Bryant, you got an invitation. With that being said, AD Drew, what do you think about this MEAC SWAC Challenge matchup? I got it right that time.
Since you brought up Paul Bryant, I got to get two quick things on Paul Bryant. I wonder if he's actually rooting for Alabama A&M, consider the fact that the Magic City Classic, Alabama A&M, Alabama State. I mean, is he really rooting for Alabama State in this game? I'm just curious, Paul. Shoot, you got my number. Shoot me a text. Let me know, Paul. You know, are you going with the SWAC, or you can't do it because that's your rival? That's question number one. And then question number two, you know, Alabama A&M, y'all got yourselves a jewel up there. But Paul, I wish you went to the other A&M that had the athletic director opening. You know, I just got to throw my 2 cents in on that. I think he would have been a good gym down in Tallahassee also. But getting back to the game at hand, Alabama State is going to win the Battle of the Bands. You like how I started that off, trying to avoid that question there, Dr. Cavil?
I can't let you get away with that. That was a real easy one.
Yeah, I think that. But what makes this game interesting is the fact that, you know, geography. And when I say geography, the fact that Alabama State is 3 hours away. All the years, it seems like that the MEAC SWAC Challenge has been played. It's been the MEAC team with the geography advantage where their fans are the ones that are able to drive in bulk and fill up their stadium.
Well, except the year Jackson State.
Yeah, Jackson State, yeah. Well, actually, y'all both about Jackson State, Bethune.
Well, about the same business.
No, I'm just talking about geography. I'm just talking about from a geographical point. We know Jackson State do what they do when they travel, but I'm just talking about geography. Now, this year, Alabama State, the SWAC team, has a geographical advantage. Will that be what it takes for the Hornets and the SWAC to get over? Because there are a lot of unanswered questions when it comes to Alabama State. Obviously, you've got a rookie head coach. You've got a quarterback who's comes in with all these credentials. Did not get a whole lot of playing time at Auburn, so you've got a potential rust factor when you look at the quarterback position at Alabama State. And like you said, Charles, Howard is not devoid of talent. Howard got an upset victory last year and played a few people closer than everybody expected last year, and has most of that talent returning. So I really think it's going to be an intriguing matchup. Alabama State is favored in this game by 2 points according to Massey ratings. There's an over-under of 54 points in this particular game. Now, since I am going to be on the BCSN Game Time show on Saturday, I asked the professor to allow me to reserve my right to hold my pick until Saturday, so that you have to watch on Saturday on the BCSN Game Time to see which way do I lean. You know,
sound like he sent in one of those letters for athletics talking about he's gonna be on the road trip. Can he get an extension on his test?
Can I get an extension?
This is excused absence.
Yeah, can I give this excused absence for that portion right now? But yeah, I really think there's going to be some interesting matchups. And you know, Alabama State had its struggles on offense last year. That was the question. Howard had his struggles on defense last year. So how does that play out this year when those two go against each other? You'll find out on Saturday what I think about that.
I think they're confused about your geographical matchup. He's not saying fan travel. He's just talking about distance. See, Charles, you messed this all up. You got everybody now going to debate attendance models. We gonna have different models. You're going to have to really come to our class, do some analytic modeling in terms of
we know Jackson State go fill up wherever it is. Hey, why you think Bethune wanted to move the game to Jacksonville? Because they no matter what you say, somebody in that blue and red gonna be down there in Duval representing y'all. They may not come from Jackson to Mississippi, but somebody in some blue and red gonna be down there in Duval to represent y'all. You know this, Charles.
We'll see.
Before we close up, and we'll save some defense talk. We'll give some defensive top teams. We showed a lot of love for offense the last couple of weeks. We got into some things going on, but we're going to make sure we talk about some defensive players over the next couple of weeks to make sure they get their due shine as we get in the first 2 weeks of football. With that being said, I would be remiss if I didn't give a little love to GCAC on the women's side with volleyball preseason poll rankings. You know, this is the expanded Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. At number 7, you have Oakwood, a new member to the GCAC. At number 6, you got Rust, another new member. At number 5, Tulum. Number 4, a team sliding over from the Red River Athletic Conference into the GCAC is Wiley. At number 3, Fisk, that just came in. At number 2, Philander Smith. At number 1, Dillard, that's been able to get it done. They're predicted to finish 1 in terms of volleyball. That is in the GCAC, so wanted to give a little love there. Thought that was fascinating, get that out of there in terms of what's going on. Obviously, HBCU football players, Reese Sr., watch list, courtesy of HBCU Sports. You have Isaiah Bolden, Jackson State, talked a little bit about him. Mark Evans, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Shane Hooks, Jackson State. John Higgins, Jackson State. Robert Lacey, Tennessee State. Isaiah Land, Florida A&M. Aubrey Miller, Jackson State. Abdul Fatih Abraham, Alabama A&M. Brandon Barnes Brown, Fayetteville State. Sunday Ada Anderson, Grambling State. Jadakiss Bonds, Hampton. Jordan Lewis, Southern. Isaiah Kinney, Alabama State. Joshua Pryor, Bowie State. So we got a mix of a couple of Division II players in there, FCS players. Good mix between SWAC, MEAC, CIAA, SIAC. Did they get in there? Not quite with the SIAC. So we got to see what's going on. Had some folks at Albany State, couldn't quite get the mix. So it'll be fascinating to see what that looks like. Folks, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to call it a day. Check us out on Sunday morning. We'll be back into it to give you some deeper dive and give you some reaction of what took place on Saturday. We'll get in and tell you what we thought about the matchups. We'll see which one of these guys are right. Tune in Saturday also for the game time. I'll jump on there and give you some updates. And then we got Charles doing his thing. Continue to check out the pregame show. Carlos Brown will do his show live, obviously, in terms of giving you some updates of what's going on in the Southern arena, his perspective of the SWAC and MEAC, and go even outside of that as he brings you some NFL love about the New Orleans Saints. I'm not sure why he spends so much time on that, but that's a whole nother discussion. That's his right in terms of trying to figure out the madness between there. Can't pick on me no more. I know he'll go to Charles and talk about your Cowboys. I don't even get into the NFL no more. I'm just HBCU. This is where the fun is at. We'll get it done like that, but I figured I'd give him a little round to doozy. Talking about a little bit, see Charles trying to hold it in. Thank you for listening to the Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share your podcast with your friends and colleagues. I am Dr. Kenyatta, Cavil, the Dean of HBCU Sports, coming from Inside the Lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Watson and Charles Bishop. Hope you enjoyed our guest interview, Derek Weber, with the Battle of the Bands, National Battle of the Bands this weekend in Houston. Give you some updates what that looks like. We look forward to Sunday as we give our opening Sunday. We might even sneak in 2 hours. We're going to at least do an hour. We'll let you know, make sure you catch us at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time for the debut of the Sunday edition of Dr. Ville's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Might even bring in a couple of new guests on there to show you up, but Mike Charles will be in the house. Saturday game time as it debuts this season. Should be fascinating as we pull in a new punch. Obviously told you about Carlos. Throughout the week, you know what we do with O&G, Strike Zone. You had the pregame show doing some Wednesday's love for you. Look for that to continue to happen throughout the season. They might move the time around a little bit, but they're going to give you some live content of much of the other stuff they do. Just follow them, and they'll give you the latest and greatest in terms of what that looks like. Nice of the round table should be coming back. A lot of stuff where we give you some media folks in terms of our poll rankings of what we think in terms of that perspective, a bigger framework on that. So keep up the love. And then, you know, you have the Sunday night as you close out your weekend and get ready for the next week. Settle down, get your dinner right, get your exercise in before you start your week. You got none other than Brian and AD with what they do with the sports wrap. You got BJ Jones coming back in to give you some more action. We got a week load of stuff, and we got some other folks that we're going to be putting into the marketplace. So keep up with BCSN and make sure you download my JBN, my BCSN, as we continue to bring you all the love of your HBCU sports in the platform for BCSN. Plus, we're going to have some live content of some of these games. So you can come right here and get you some of these live action in terms of volleyball, football throughout the season as we bring you that as well. Follow me, Dr.
Don't forget,
Kenyatta, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, DrKenyatta. What did you want to add there, AD?
Don't forget for your reading pleasure, make sure you follow my articles on d2football.com under the SIAC columnist. I got a couple articles out there already.
Load it up. Make sure that you put it out there. They're going to be looking to see what we're doing on D2. We're going to make sure they get their presence because we got Drew delivering it. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab 1 on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter Spaces there. I come in and guest here and there. And also we'll crank it up every once in a while and give you some live responses of what's going on out there in the collegiate space, particularly on how it relates to HBCUs. Follow me on Facebook, YouTube, inside HBCU Sports Lab. As you know, dream big, continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles.
Horse.
AD.
Lecture.
Dismiss.
Well, holla.